Hi everybody. We are here to start a series, which we are calling it "Was It GTO?"
Was it GTO? Exactly. So the pretense of this whole series is we analyze a hand or hands that we saw throughout the week from poker vloggers or our own hands, and we basically run it through a solver. But we don't basically stick to the solver. We think, okay, why are they taking the actions that they're taking in the hand?
Yep.
And if it deviates from GTO, what may be the reason for that?
Yeah. And then the solver gives an option to see, all right, if they had a different set of hands other than the hands that they have, what should they have? What should they do? So that is the premise. And the hand that we picked today comes from uh, the large stream, and it's such a good game that they put on. It's a heads-up match between Doug Polk and Jungleman, and I have to say, Jungleman is my favorite poker player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's so good. I love him. Like, there are so many stories that Doug Polk tells about Jungleman.
Oh
That,
yeah.
yeah, like one of the stories that he tells, like when Jungleman stayed with him. Um, Dog Polk said, "Well, do you want to go get a burrito for lunch?" And Jungle Man, young kid, is like, "What is a burrito?" Like, he's so off. They have a very
uh,
good. They have a very good podcast. Dog Polk does that with Jungle Man. It's so much. It's so good. It's worth watching. Watch every second of it. Anyway,
okay. Okay.
so the hand that we're talking about, it's essentially a four bet pot. It's one of the only four bet pots that was four bet light. And in this hand, Jungleman opens Jack 8 suited from small blind button to uh, 1,000 to 1.5 big blind.
Mhm.
And Dog Pole with pocket tens, he three bets to 3,800, which is about 9.5 big blind, around 10 big blinds. So all good so far. And Jungleman goes ahead and four bets that 10 big blinds into 11 and a half, 11,300, which is almost more than 28 big blinds,
Yeah.
28.25 big blinds.
That's 3x pretty much, right? 3x.
Essentially 3x, yeah. So more than 3x. So
Hmm.
10,000 to like 3x would be 3,000. So it's a little bit more. Um, Even in position, so he did 3.8x, which is perfectly okay. And the first thing I want to talk about is the hands with which he would really do this kind of four betting. And
Exactly.
yeah, and this is the set, like, this is preflops coming from GTO preflops. So the hands that he's forbidding is essentially a bunch of aces and ace kings and queens and jacks, which is all normal. But to balance it out, there's a bunch of crab on this side and a bunch of crab downside. But they are, like, you can see that the frequencies are very low. Like Jack 7, Jack. For some reason, Jack 6 and Queen Deuce.
Queen Deuce is the one that sticks out to me the most.
I
It's
don't
like
know!
86%, but like you have a deuce. Deuces never lose for bet, please.
Yeah, it's just uh,
That seems to be it.
I don't know. Like, obviously Phil Helmus's hand is, there's no four bet there. We never
Yeah.
four bet
Queen
Queen
4,
four.
yeah. Wow.
Never.
I'm that's disgraceful from the solver to not 4 bet
Yeah.
Queen 4 off or suited.
Yeah. So these are the ranges of the hands that he four bets with. Um, and obviously there is a big range of hands that dog is gonna call with, and these are
Hmm.
the range of hands that dog is gonna call with. This is built for 100 big blind, so I didn't have ranges for 200 big blind.
Hmm.
That's what they are deep in now.
Right. I would
So
assume that is this fair to say like 200 big blinds deep there would be for example if we look at stuff like ace king and ace queen would it make sense to put those into the 4-bet calling range as opposed to a 5-bet jam if you're deeper?
I mean, you don't even need to jam it. You can 5-bet it without jamming. That's
Right, right,
one.
right,
But yes, you can, like, on 100 big blind, these are all jams. Like,
right,
all, they have 100% 5-bets. You never, like, if you look at these pocket pairs, below pocket, like the lower pocket pairs, you fold, the upper pocket pairs, you jam, right?
right,
Or you 5-bet. Here, I think, like these could have some frequency of calling,
right.
but you can see that, like, there's a lot of mainly things that he calls with are good hands. Like, there's no crap in
Right,
the
right, right,
forward calling range. Everything else gets folded out.
right.
Excuse me. Anyhow, so with these ranges, and I don't know if, like, we need to go more into details of these ranges, but let's look at the run itself. When you look at the run itself, I ran it. The first time I ran this, I ran it for more possible bet sizes. Like,
Okay,
I had 10%, 20%, 30%, 50%, 75%, 100%, 150%, 200%, all of those.
right,
But then a majority of them were like zero frequencies. So I pruned the tree, and I only, because like saving it becomes smaller. So
right.
yeah. Anyway, so uh, so this is now Doug Polk, out of position, sitting on the big blind. He called the 4-bet, and this is his action.
Hmm.
I have these smaller, like, maiden, like, proportionate to the weight of the chances of having that hand. But let's undo
Right.
this. Let's look at this. What was interesting for me here was, like, uh, you only get to check 60. Like, you call the 4-bet, but there's like 26% of times that you lead out.
Donking. That's
Yeah.
interesting because I guess let's mention the flop. So what is the flop that? Okay, so the flop is King Queen 9,
King,
right? Like
Queen,
if we look
9.
at the video, it's King Queen 9, and we have a flush drawn. King Queen is clubs and the 9 of hearts.
We really don't have a flush draw, honestly. Like,
Right.
because
What
like,
are the flush
yeah,
draws?
like, because
Yeah.
your suited flush draws, all right, it's going to be, there's no king high flush draws. There's no queen flush draws. Your flush draws are essentially only like ace jack, ace 10. You can't have ace 9, ace 8,
Yeah.
ace 5.
Very unlikely. I guess I would say Ace 5 is probably more likely than Ace 9 or Ace 8, but it's pretty much just Ace Jack or Ace 10.
Yeah. So, like,
That's it.
if you look at here, for, let me switch that to Dog's range. Uh, yeah, this is Dog's range, and you can see that flush draws. He has only like 2.5 combos of flush draws. This does not count like Ace Jack, because Ace Jack is like flush draw, straight draw, so it's gonna be combo draw.
Right.
So, like, the total percentage of the time that he has a draw here is total of these two, like, 13%.
Very, very little. I guess he has some of the lower suited connectors. And that was the other thing that was interesting about the pre-flop action is that you call a 4-bet a lot with the lower suited connectors, but you fold like 8-9 suited or 9-10 suited. And you
Yeah,
call with 5-6 suited because you want to have like the lower board
lower
locked
board
up.
coverage. Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So you see, he doesn't have that much of a flush draw. Like, the majority of hands that he has here is ace high. You see, like,
Right.
26% is ace high. I don't know. Like, so pairs, like, not top pair. If you in going like all of these low pairs, the total of this is 15, 11, 5. Total of, like, I don't know, 36, 37%, like, pair. And then top pair and over pair is around like 20%. So Because these are the hands that he has. So
Right. Heavily weighted towards like, okay, you have a pair of some sort, or you have like a pair that connects to the board,
yeah,
more than like the draws that are available. Because I guess in general, the 4-bet pots, they narrow down the range so much that you just have such few
he,
flush draws
yeah,
or straight
like
draws.
or like I think if like the king was not a club and it was like queen a club, nine a club,
Mm-hmm.
you would have a more flush draws.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because like
Because
then you would have like all the king tens, king not king nine, but king jacks of
yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Even yeah, exactly. So you'd have, I guess if the lower card is paired with the flush draw, you'd have more opportunities for you just have so many more combinations because the
Yeah.
king is available to you.
Yeah. And I don't think with tens, like you can see with tens here, majority of time with tens you're really just checking it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you just don't connect with the board at all. Like, and then as a 4-better, I mean, obviously if you take into play the heads up pre-flop actions, obviously there are some bluffs, the queen deuce and jack eight, and like Juggle has here.
Yeah.
But more often than not, the 4-better connects with this board a lot better than you do
Yeah.
as the 4-bet caller.
Yeah. And if you look like if you have the ten of club, which Doug has, you have you lead a little bit more. Like essentially you lead a lot,
Right.
which is very strange to me. Like just with one uh just 110 a club you lead. I don't know. Yeah.
Right. It doesn't seem it seems like one of those I feel like in 4-bet pots, the action is probably like auto check if you're out of position and you want to raise
Yeah,
it.
like at least in a ring game, I always auto check. Like I call the four bet, I check. But you
Right,
see, like
exactly.
his combo is 10 heart, 10 of heart, 10 of clubs, which is like the one on
Right.
the bottom middle, and you can see that you even sometimes bet like half pot, majority like 30
Yeah.
or
Because
36% of them you bet half pot. I think no.
yeah, because I feel like donking, especially like yeah, maybe it's an old school of thought, but donking is just a big no-no. It's just like you check to the aggressor. That seems like the standard play, but I think off late there are some boards that favor
Yeah.
the caller a lot more than the aggressor, so it makes sense to donk. People are doing it more now in like these like these I guess like these Euro kids that study GTO and all that stuff. There's some boards that you just want to donk on,
Yeah.
but coming from an older school of thought, it just doesn't make sense to donk on any board. You just always check to the aggressor. It seems like.
Yeah. You know, it's very interesting. Like with the tens, 10 of club, you lead. Oh,
Yeah.
not a club is not there, but like, let's see what else you have. Sixes. Look at that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, Doug goes ahead and checks. That's what happens. And here, four better, Jungleman still gets 60% of checking.
Right.
I don't know why.
Yeah. Exactly. Is intuitively, it would feel like you would bet your entire range on this board because it has two cards that favor your range, the king and the queen. You have a lot of. Is it because you never have the nut advantage betting on this board? Like you never have Jack 10. You have Jack 10 so infrequently that you just don't have the nuts here.
Yeah, you don't have Jack 10 enough here. That's true because like they have more Jack 10s. You see, they have
Right,
more Jack 10s than us.
right. So they have more Jack 10s than us. But at
Not
the same
really
time,
though. Hold on. So if you look at this, they only have Jack 10 suited. They don't have Jack 10 off, but we
right, so it's
have the
just four
Jack 10.
combos.
Yeah, just
It's
four
just four
combo.
hand.
Yeah, four combos. But here we have Jack 10 off, which is like 12 combos. And these 12
Right.
combos, we have them at what frequency? I don't know. Low frequency.
So I guess it balances out, but at the same time, like you always have the kings and the queens because in the heads up chart, like, as we saw, like kings and
Yeah.
queens are pretty much never bet. They're never are just a 4-bet cold call out of position.
Yeah, you never call with five like just like kings and queens, never.
I feel
So
like aces and kings maybe because like aces and kings at some frequency you could just call out of position because you need less protection, but queens you never really have queens.
I
So
mean, in the simulation that I ran, I did not put kings for Doug. Like I don't think
yeah,
like he's gonna like really just call with kings. It makes no sense.
because I guess you're just deeper. I guess if you're short stacked, it makes a little more sense to jam. But then if you're a little bit deeper, it makes sense to play
Yeah,
kings as a call sometimes at some frequency.
yeah. So with the Karen setting, he goes ahead and bets eight. And what happens is that
It's about a third of the pot, right?
yeah, third of the
Right.
pot. 23 or 24, 23K in the pot. He actually bet 7K into 23, so I have 23, and then this became like 8, so that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah,
That's
it's
fine.
close enough.
Yeah. So, and then Dog definitely has tens. He definitely gonna call. Majority of the call hands that he has is call. Only like king queen. I have like top two. I'm gonna raise that sort of thing, and I've like jack ten. I have the nuts.
Yeah.
I like uh, I raise like 40% of the time and call like 60% of the time. We're like 50, 55, 45, something like that. But like you see, like Jack 10 of clubs, you just call. There's no
Right,
way.
right, right. So, so,
It's
so
another.
the one interesting question, like for example, let's say you have tens, right, and you're out of position on this board, king queen nine board. You
Mm-hmm.
have two blockers to the absolute nuts, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So what is your plan of action when let's say it goes brick brick? Let's say it goes two of spades, three of diamonds, right? Like that's the run out. Are you gonna call? Let's say if it goes if two of spades comes the turn after you call this flop bet, are you going to, let's say you check back, let's say you check and he checks back, and on the river, what is your plan? Are you going to call a bet? Are you going to fold to a bet depending on the sizing? Or are you going to fold to any bet? Or let's say if it's not brick brick, right? Let's say you hold
Hold
the
on.
blockers
So
with nuts.
so the first brick went check on the turn.
Mm-hmm. And let's say it's another brick,
All
right?
right. Let me
Like
let me
three or
see if
something.
it's call, and then like four a heart came. Four a heart gives you some. Let's see, four a spade came out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I then check.
Yeah. So let's say it goes check check,
All right.
right?
And then your river is deuce of I don't know.
Yeah. Deuce of diamonds.
Deuce of
That's a
heart,
good
deuce of
break.
diamonds, deuce of diamonds, and they check to you.
Yeah, they check, and you have Jack 8 of diamonds, right? And then your plan with tens is what? Are you gonna call that bet if it goes brick brick? So there's four possibilities, right? It goes brick brick, it goes brick, like not brick, it goes
You're
ace,
first to act. You're first to act. You have tens. You're
yeah.
first to act. The river came
Let's say
out.
you check it. Let's say you check it on the river, right?
Okay.
And so what is your plan of action? Are you gonna call the bet? Because I don't think betting makes sense, right? It's a
No.
king queen nine four deuce board. What are you betting to do? You're not really accomplishing anything with betting, right? Are you not?
Yeah.
You're not getting called by worse, and you're
No.
not getting better than fold
No.
after the action goes check check on the turn. So your plan of action has to be if it goes break check check to check the river in the hopes of either
Going to
calling a
the
small
river.
bet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
going to the river. Like because even
exactly.
a small bet, the small bet you can call with tens.
Right, right, right. Okay.
A small bet could be like, I have a nine. I'm like targeting ace high.
Okay, okay, okay.
That's what I think. Like, let's see who bets a 10. Who bets 10? A set of 9 bets 10. Let me see if they do this. I hate this. It's so small because it doesn't really show. Essentially, nobody bets 10 here. To see the combos is 0.
Right, right, right.
Very
Uh,
low frequencies. You have a bet of maybe 20 here. There's no bet of 10. Okay, let's say the bet 20. Yeah, you randomize and call. That's
Interesting.
hard. All right, let's do these exploratory stuff afterwards. See what happens here. The turn is an exciting card. It's Queen of Diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
And your Doug Polk, you have pocket tens. And there's honestly nothing you can do. Like, you have the same possibility, like probability of like checking. You have to check only like 65%.
Right. Again, this is one of those like things that's weird about the solver, because intuitively you'd be like, if you just called the bet on the flop, when do you ever lead? I've never learned that in any poker lesson. Like, okay, after checking to the aggressor on the flop and you calling the bet, when do you lead on the turn? I've never learned that. Like, I never know when to do that. So I always check.
When the card is better for you.
Okay, and so would that be?
All right, so like a jack. Here, let's say you get a jack of diamond that does not improve anything. You see, like with a jack, you get to lead because you have so much jack, and they don't have a jack.
I always have jacks.
Yeah.
Jack King.
And
Jack
similarly
King,
with like 10. Let me give you a 10. Like you essentially bet more now. Like this is checking is now less. What else is good for you? Maybe another 9 is good for you.
So
No,
if you throw in the
nine.
brick, if you throw in that brick again, like the 2 of spades.
Oh, pause. I lost a 2. I'll pause. I'll come back. Oh, it was recording? I don't know. Did I pause? I don't know. Something happened. We might edit it.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We'll fix it in post.
We fix it in post. Anyhow, so you see, like Jack, you lead. Then, yeah. Anyhow.
So if it's a brick, you check. But if it's a card that like favors you more, like a middling card, like a jack or a 10, you lead more.
Yeah. Yeah. Like it's very hard to find like a card that favors you honestly as much in this board because of how like king and queen is there and like how much you are in disadvantage with that.
Right.
But like when the queen of diamond comes, it gives you an option because it means that the chances of the other person having a queen is lower.
Right. There's only 2 queens left. What queens do they have? So if they have ace queen, it's now reduced by 50%.
Yeah.
From 12 combos to 8 combos.
Yeah. So that's why this queen is a little bit good for you because they're not gonna have king queens as much as they used to. They're not gonna have ace queen as much as they used to. They're not gonna have queens as they used to. Then you see, like there are like a fewer of these things that they could have.
Right. But which begs the question: if you check and they bet, what are they representing? Right. So what is the bluff here? Like, what would you think? What would?
If you check and they bet like, you see, like half of the time they bet 20. You essentially only calling with like absolute nuts or like draws to nuts. Like you're calling with like a 10, and then like queen. You see.
So it's interesting because you fold with 10s a lot, but you call with 10-9 suited. Hopefully, and you call with all the 10-9 suited.
Essentially.
Not just the 10-9 of clubs.
Yeah.
For example, you call with all the 10-9 suited.
I mean, there's like only 2 of them left. 10-9 is yeah, 3 of them, yeah.
Huh? That's interesting.
Yeah. Anyhow.
So you fold. So theoretically, if you bet here, you're supposed to fold 10s.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like another queen came out and they're still betting. They either have like freaking kings. Like what are they betting with? This bet 20. Look at what they're betting with. They are betting almost all of the queens that they have. Okay. Yeah. As value, and all of these queens from top to bottom. Okay, and then. The other things that they're betting boats like 9s or straights
Yeah.
The
Very yeah.
the
Very few bluffs.
yeah, the bluffy things that they're betting is like these jack ones.
Yeah, I feel like the bluffy things are like a lot more like, for example, ace seven suited here. Like that's a crazy bluff to pull off. Like, do you have the ace of clubs? Like, which of the ones like do you zoom into ace seven offsuit? For example, which ones are you betting? Like all the weird ace off, ace X off that you're betting at a higher frequency.
I mean, these you don't have them as much,
Yeah, exactly. You just
but
they're a
but
tiny
but
sliver of your
but if you had like one of the things that I compare here is like looking at coin 10. It's majority betting and just a little bit of checking. But the rest of
right,
them, these bluff ones, you just bet less than half of the time.
right,
Majority of
right,
time is check, like 68%, 70%, 80%, 60%. You see?
right. Right. And okay, so if you have tens in this spot, right? Like if you have tens in the spot, you face a second bet. And this one's a sizable bet too, right?
Yeah,
So
size
what is your
size
plan for the river if you have two tens right now?
Oh,
So it
if they bet you fold here.
the
Tens
bet
are,
you fold, right?
yeah.
Unless you happen to hit a miracle 10 on the river, in which case
Yeah.
you even then you're like you side call. You don't like call like, oh, I got it now.
Yeah,
Because you're
like
betting
you
bet
don't
bet bet. You're representing.
exactly like what Polk did. Like he did not raise the river essentially.
Right.
So let's go with check check on the turn on the flop, and then the miracle 10 of diamond shows up on the river. Now you have a boat with pocket tens. You see
Right.
that you lead here, and this is something that I think Polk made a mistake here. I think so.
You thought he could have led here.
He could lead this 10, but like the jack 8 that he had, the Jungleman has gonna get folded here. But in general, I think like you should, like it's very hard. You have a boat, all right.
Mm-hmm.
If they bet, if your course of action is that if they I'm gonna check raise, it's a very hard check raise to sell. Like you
Right. Like what are you
check call,
ripping?
yeah, check call, and check raise, and they're not gonna call you with anything better. I think in this
Right.
situation is better to lead because that 10 is just again so good for you. And
Right. Right. Right.
regardless of that, you have a boat.
Right. Besides the fact, yeah, exactly. That's a great point because besides the fact that it's a great card for your range, it's a great card for your hand
Yeah,
too. So you're the one that's a lot more likely to have Jack X
yeah,
completing the straight in your range than your opponent's range.
yeah,
And uh 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 what is the opponent really gonna like raise you with besides like the nuts?
yeah.
Like is your opponent really gonna turn a king into a bluff? Like that makes no sense.
But like here it says with tens, just shove.
Yeah. Okay.
And the
Yeah.
reason you shove with tens is that because the queen, the turn went check check.
Mm. So are you shoving? What are the bluffs you're shoving here? Like as the four bet caller. What are the
Oh,
other?
10-9.
Oh, because you block both boats, I guess.
Yeah,
But
he doesn't
if
have
you have
nines, he has have tens.
so if you shove 10-9, what are you getting him to fold besides like maybe I guess if you have like
Ace
ace king or
king, ace
aces.
king.
Ace king aces. Those are the only thing like even aces I guess is a fold, right? Like aces and ace king.
Oh yeah, like if you shove this, uh, everything is essentially a fold except like the ones that have like queens in them again.
Nuts.
Yeah, the
Nuts. Yeah,
nuts.
like king queen 10 like nutted hands.
Yeah, there's like jacks there too
Yeah,
for
anything
some
that
reason.
contains a jack makes
Yeah,
sense too
yeah,
because especially if you have jack 10, you have removal to one full house plus like you block, I guess
yeah,
it doesn't make sense to have ace
yeah,
jack here, but you have a jack in your hand. So it makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So this 10 comes and Doug Polk checks. Oh my god. And how much does he bet? He bet 28 and a half, something like 28. Yeah, 28,000. Pot is now $39,000,
Right, right, right.
and
Because he bets like he bets like that amount into 37K, right?
yeah,
He bets like the 29K into 37K, which is
yeah,
like a big bet. Like that's pretty much like and that like that's a very polar bet.
yeah. It's a 75% bet essentially. 30 into 39 is, yeah, 30 into 40 is 75%.
So what is that bet of comp? Like what is he trying to get called by? Like a solitary queen makes sense. Like, ace queen type of hand makes sense for Doug Polk to call it, even though it's not on this pre-flop range for his four bet calling range. It
Yeah,
makes sense for a queen or like that is that it? Like what else is he targeting? Because he has Jack 8, right? So
yeah.
what else is he targeting besides like a solitary queen to call this bet? Like a king, I feel like he falls out just like a king on for this bet.
Uh,
Like what king are you calling with
oh,
besides maybe ace
I
king?
think that's a bad bet, honestly. I don't think you should bet that much. I would never bet 29. Well, here, oh, dog checks. No, sorry. Dog checks. And here, the bets that Jungle is doing here, I don't know why would you bet with Jack 8. It's just for bluff, straight. You don't, I don't know.
So does it make sense to put like this straight into like a block betting range? Let's say you bet like it's 37K, right? Let's say you bet like a third of the pot or lower. Let's say you bet 10K into 38 to 38K. Can you get called by worse then? Is it higher? It's more likely that you get called by a king if you have Jack 8 there, right?
Yeah,
So there'd be a queen obviously calls like that bet like instantly. Like that's a call, right? They can even think of check raising a queen with this
yeah,
action, right? But
yeah.
probably just a call. So they can call with a king, they can call with a
You
queen.
see, like Queen Jack, just one queen calls.
With the polar bet sizing, you're representing something very close to the nuts. So it's like kings, king, queen,
Yeah,
queen 10, like a jack is at the lower end of that spectrum where you're
yeah,
representing very strong hands.
yeah.
A jack is like the least strong hand you can have, right? If your opponent has called two streets, the worst hand he has here is like,
He called one street though.
oh yeah, sorry, it went check check on the turn.
Yeah,
Okay. So that makes it different because I guess it's more likely for him to call with the king
yeah,
with the check check on the turn.
yeah. And then
Uh,
check back, check again on the like, check again on the river. Like he
right,
went
right,
check
right,
check, and then he checked on the river. Means that he has like one pair, one middling pair, like the tens that he has,
right,
literally. And then he gets lucky and gets a 10 on the river. Then you're screwed.
right. So with Jungle's bet, what do you think he's trying? So he's trying to get called by a queen or a king, a hand with a queen that's not a boat, or a hand with just a single pair like a king.
He's
He's never getting called by anything else here.
Yeah, he's getting called with aces a little bit sometimes, maybe.
But aces again, because they're so deep, it doesn't really make sense for him to play that out of position as a call, right?
Yeah.
So he's literally hoping to get called by a hand with a king in it.
One
That
single king, like King Jack, or like,
yeah,
I don't know. No,
yeah,
King.
king,
I
but king
mean,
jack is a straight here.
Yeah,
So
King Jack's also a straight, right? You're right.
so ace king,
King,
king
no, he
10.
doesn't have ace king because he didn't
Yeah,
five
ace king
bet.
is a mostly is
Yeah,
mostly a five bet.
these are the hands: King 10, King 10, King 9, King Jack, chop with you, Queen Jack. This is such a bad bet.
Right, because it
You're
again,
chopping, like you're chopping with anything that calls you, or you're losing to it.
right. And he's never even raising tens or nines here because he's never getting called by worse. Like Doug is never raising tens or nines here because again, he's never getting called by anything worse.
But
He's
but
never getting called by a jack.
but
With
solver says tens should raise.
really?
Yeah, here.
So if
Tens,
tens
nines.
raise here, that's so bizarre. Because what is the bluff? Like
If
again, like
tens
what is the
raise here, oh, you have to call with any jack.
so what are his like bluff raises? If you go back, like what are his bluff raises? If he raises like nines again, nines tens are value. Queen
Value.
10 is a boat.
Oh, there's no bluff raise on the river.
Okay, so if there's no bluff raise, then how do
I
you
mean,
get the
ace
call
jack
with?
maybe.
Okay, but even that's a
No,
value.
that's a value. That's a value raise. I mean, it's not really the nuts of the values, but it is like value.
It's like that's like a Scrooge McDuck. Like I'm gonna try to get as much as I can from this
Yeah,
raise. Like that's crazy because if he has no bluffs in his raising range, how can you call with
because
like
this bet is too big to have a bluff raising bet.
okay
Like
so
so if the sizing, like we see that he bet 29 instead of 29, which you do only very rarely.
mm-hmm.
If he bet 20, now Doug has some bluffs in him. Is his ranges, is his raises. He has
Right
sixes and sevens and eights and I don't know, 5-4 suited. You know,
right
you
wow
can't
okay
expect a person because like when he puts 29 in a pot, he only has 58 behind total behind before betting 29.
right
So he has like 27 left, no 29 left. He putting 29, keeping 29 behind.
right
You can't raise bluff there.
right exactly. It's only value. Okay, so
Yeah,
so if he does raise, then you pretty much only have to call with the nuts. That's it. Like you
yeah.
can't even call with the jack, right? Like he's never even raising like a solitary jack though. So you're pretty much folding out any, like why do you even call with like jack?
I mean,
Because like
he
he cannot
says,
be bluffing,
yeah,
right?
that's true, that's true. But like the solver calls you is like some jack sevens and jack eight and jack six and jack five and jack deuce out, infamous jack deuce.
Yeah.
And Queen Deuce is fold here. Queen Deuce carries itself all the way to river.
Yeah.
anyhow, anyhow, I don't know. Anyhow, so I think that being close to GTO, let's have a summary. We are like almost at half an hour time mark. As close as to GTO we can tell is that here, Doc could lead on this flop. King, Queen, 9.
Right, and he leads a lot. He leads a lot with the jack in his hand, by the looks of it. Jack two pair combos lead a lot, or even king jack lead a lot
Any,
because
I see like everything has some sort of lead in it. Like
right.
everything has some, like a little bit of a trickle of lead in it.
Yeah, look at deuces. I love deuces. The optimism of having deuces up, like and leading.
Yeah, so this is leading that Doc has, and then sorry, and then when he checks, the majority of bet is again, you can check back on this flop some extent, even though it's a 4 bet pot because they might have some king, queen, and like nines and
Yeah,
all, so that is okay. And then when they bet this much, definitely you call. There's no other option, so I don't think there is any solution to that. When the queen comes, Um, again, you don't have that much leading, but you can on some hands
right.
when you have a queen. But check.
You got yeah.
I don't know. I would. I think if. How could Jungle have won this hand? Turn bet would have won this hand, I would say.
Probably, yeah. If he bets turn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if he bets turn, it's a lot harder to call with tens.
Yeah.
Because I think is when they bet turn, you would have to be expecting a higher probability of them bombing the river.
Yeah.
Right. So if you go with that mentality that okay, if I call this bet they are bombing the river, you're probably more likely to fold in that street.
Yeah.
Because when someone comes out like for a flop bet and then blasts off in the turn, your best assumption as at least for me, when I see someone doing that, I'm like, okay, they're probably gonna blast off river. What is my action then? If I don't hit a miracle 10 on the river, I'm probably gonna be folding, so I might as well just fold now.
Yeah.
Because I'm out of position. If I call this bet and I get an unfavorable card in the river, I'm gonna check, and then if they bet,
You have to
they're winning
fold.
the hand.
Yeah. Yeah. But like it's a very hard bet to do. Like you have Jack 8 of diamond in your hand, and it went King, Queen, 9, Queen, and you have Jack 8 of diamond. Like you have to have balls of steel to shove this.
Yeah, because I guess like with a Jack, you block like Queen Jack, so like and you block Queen Jack, King Jack,
Jack 10, all of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, so you have a Jack in your hand, which is important, right? So you reduce the combination of Jacks that they have, and you block the most likely Queen that they could have, something like some kind of Queen Jack suited. So it makes sense that they don't have a very strong hand. So if you do bet turn, I guess you probably would get a fold out of most hands. But the fact that he called the flop, right? So if he's weighted towards King X or Queen X.
You will never, if you call a 4-bet, you're never folding a flop. I don't think you ever fold a flop.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know the guy's betting his entire range on any board on a 4-bet pot. Almost.
Yeah.
Almost any board. You're continuing.
I mean, he says that the GTO says that your PO says that you're folding 7s and 8s and like 5-4 and 6-5. Maybe you are. I don't know. I mean, not maybe you are. Apparently you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what would be funny? Like I want to play against like I know solvers can't play yet, but
like, you can play against solvers.
Oh really? Like an actual hand? Like to play like
it's like this app called something is Snow.
I mean I want to see what that experience is like when when like the most bizarre like okay I get shown like Queen Deuce is a bluff when they bluff shove river or something. Like I want to see what that feels like to play against like an AI that like is that has a perfect balanced strategy.
It's called Poker Snowy.
Poker Snowy?
Yeah,
okay, I'll check it out.
Well, it's a subscription.
Note that down.
It's a subscription-based app, and you can play against AI.
I'm gonna check this out.
Yeah, if you get a subscription, share it with me. We play like
for sure. Yeah. I'm because I want to see what it feels like to play against like something like this that just is completely balanced and like it knows what to do and whatnot.
Yeah, if you Poker Snowy is like $100 a year.
That's not too bad.
No, it's just like normal. Like they have two subscription, intermediate and pro, and yeah. Anyway, so
I'll check it out. Yeah.
The beginning one, the intermediate model of it is just I don't know. It's $100 a year. Yeah.
Not too bad. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a Poker Go subscription, but better.
Yeah. I remember like getting those like when the clubs. Like you set up the clubs and then you have like the silver or whatever, the VIP gold.
Yeah.
You get like the avatars and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyhow, all right. It was fun. I think we should do that. This like right now that the WSOP is going on and PokerGo has a lot of hands. We should be able to find a lot of fun hands to run them.
For sure, yeah. I feel like these spots are definitely like really interesting, like and especially like all these bloggers that like there's almost daily content now. Like I watch have you seen this guy Close to Brook? I love that guy.
No, I haven't. No.
Close to Brook, great poker channel. Like he posts very regularly now too, and he plays 5, 10, 20. I think that's his main game. 5 to
Okay.
20. Very, very good vlog. Excellent vlog. Like I love watching that guy's hands. Plus he posts very frequently. There's obviously the main guys, Rampage,
Yeah.
Brado, and those guys. They all have cash game vlogs. Andrew Nemi, but yeah, some of the smaller ones. There's this guy, Live King. Have you seen that? He also plays
No.
5, 10,
The
20 in LA.
the vlogs that I watched more recently are mainly Mariano. I watched Mariano. He had
Mariano's very good. Yeah,
the
like he,
last
he plays a
vlog.
hustler game, right?
Yeah.
Like the high stakes hustler game.
Yeah.
Also, like super nice to watch.
Yeah.
I love watching
All
his
right,
vlogs too.
let's close this down though.
For sure. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
let's close this down. Thanks for watching. We're gonna make shorter videos next time, hopefully.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll plan it more. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching. Take care. Have a good night, guys. Bye.